The Gears of War movie. Have you heard at all? I know you saw the thumbnail, you know what we're talking about, and you saw the description, but seriously, the Gears of War movie is happening. Do you comprehend this? Like, do you understand how long we've waited for the actual Gears of War movie? By the way, welcome. Thursday, Gear Talks every Thursday. It's Gear Talk time. Anyway, we've waited so long for this. We're just jumping into it because this is just big news. So it was announced earlier this month, Gears of War, the movie for it is going to be getting released on Netflix along with an animated series. Now, after Cyberpunk came out with that animated series for Edgerunners, I'm not gonna lie, I have some high hopes. I am actually sitting here thinking like, this could possibly go well. And originally, I didn't have those feelings. So let's elaborate a little bit here. So the Gears of War movie got announced earlier this month, and it was announced, hey, we actually have something that's going to work. For everyone that doesn't know, the Gears of War quote-unquote movie idea and the pitch and the writing has been around since like the early 2010s. I think 2010 earliest, maybe even like 2009, they were saying, yep, we're totally going to do it. We're going to make one. Definitely. I think Paramount had their hands in it at one point. Like, we've been sitting here collectively waiting, and it finally got to the point where it just died. And now Netflix comes out like, well, Gears of War celebrating 16 years now. Who wants a movie? And that's just how it went. So that's what we're talking about here. Like, I know this isn't as formulaic or like put together as it is, but this really is, if it wasn't for the fact this is about Gears of War, an off-the-cuff discussion about things. So, Gears of War, the movie, wow. Now, they said that they were going to be following the source material for this, I believe, so they're going to be following the main story. Wow. That's crazy, man. Like, we've collectively been around, and I know I'm repeating so much, but you need to understand how long of a wait this has been, how big of a deal this is. Like, for everyone who has ever played video games or on an Xbox or Microsoft, you've at least heard the name Gears of War. You at least know it exists. It's in Fortnite at this point. Like, you know you've made it in the world if it's in Fortnite. I don't even play Fortnite, but I know it's in there. So it's kind of one of those things where it makes you feel like, hey, the Gears of War community, we've gone up a notch. Our series is getting a movie and an animated series, which we'll talk about the series next. The movie is kind of like the first big thing. It's been stated they're going to be starting it. They haven't started directing it. They don't have the cast fully figured out. I think there is a director in mind, but there's so many characters you can put in, so many actors, and the first one that comes to mind, obviously, is going to be Dave Bautista, because it's Bautista. He's literally been wanting and fighting for this role, I would say, since the beginning of 2010, or at least even 2012. At a minimum, a decade, he's been wanting this role and working towards it. Like, every single... he looks just like Marcus. If you see his old professional wrestling career, like, way back in the day, like, mid-2000s, the guy looks like Marcus Phoenix. He does. So, he knows that. The community wants him to play it. He has the same demeanor nowadays, since he's gotten older since then. It really would be a perfect fit. I think Dave Bautista would be a great pick, especially with how he did playing Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy. Yes, put him in there. The only person I know that is possibly not going to be in it is one of the designers for Gears of War currently with the Coalition outwardly said, whatever you do not allow Chris Pratt to be in this movie. And, I mean, I kind of agree with him. I don't see where Chris Pratt would fit in here. Definitely not for Baird. Baird is going to be the hardest casting you are going to have to do. I would say, I've heard a lot of names thrown in for who Baird would be. Definitely not Chris Pratt. But... and I don't even have a problem with Chris Pratt. I'm okay with Chris Pratt. I don't see why people have such a hate for him. I'm not understanding. Is it because he's in the new Mario movie? I don't fully know. Anyway, though, Baird's gonna be the hardest one. I think for Baird, like I've heard John Cena thrown out. I don't think that's gonna work at all. Although John Cena has shown that he's able to actually be a little bit more serious, like with Suicide Squad. Like he can play that kind of role where he's kind of a dick but serious. Maybe, but I'm not feeling it. I heard people say Ryan Reynolds. I'm sorry, but like Ryan Reynolds' tongue-in-cheek style he does is a little too passive compared to how Baird normally is. I love Ryan Reynolds, but I just don't think he would be able to pull off a Baird. So unfortunately, that one I just can't side with. So Baird, I have no clue who would even do that one. That's such a hard one to put my finger on it. Not Chris Pratt, obviously. Terry Crews has actually stepped up and said he wants to be in it. I have a very strong feeling he would end up as Cole. I don't see who else he would be until the later series. But yeah, he would be Cole. The only problem I have with Terry Crews, I love Terry Crews, is his neck game isn't like the same as Cole's. Cole has a very, very thick neck, like 5Cs thick. So Terry, I love you, but you're going to have to thicken that neck, my friend. Like, double your neck size, because Cole is a hefty boy. But yeah, I think Terry would be an okay pick for it. I think he definitely has the energy to be Cole. 100%. Dom. Honestly, and this is a weird judgment call by me, but really think about it. Like, think about it, let it marinate for a moment. If you've seen what he looks like, you know what I'm talking about. For Dom, honestly, let his voice actor do the role. Like, really think about it. Like, if Dom's voice actor, like, he's not scrawny, but he's not as thick as Dom is. If you got him to muscle up a bit, honestly, I think he'd make a good Dom. He's already got the voice, so that's already right there. He knows how to play Dom. Honestly, let Dom's voice actor take the gig. I think he'll be really good. Like, Cole's voice actor looked exactly like Cole. Baird's does not. And when it comes to Marcus, Joe DiMaggio, he doesn't. But, I mean, the voice is, like, one of the most iconic voices. So, honestly, figure out Baird and maybe give Dom's voice actor his role. Give Terry and Batista their roles. Easy picks. As for everyone else, I'm interested to see what they would pick for, like, Anya, Hoffman. As far as I'm aware, they didn't say how far into the games. Maybe it's just the first game. So Maria, there's a lot of options there. You can wait till the second movie if they did one for that. But yeah, honestly, I've got good feelings about the movie. I don't think they're going to ruin it. Netflix has kind of shown, like, they have the better interest in minds for, like, adaptations at the moment. Again, Arcane, I love it. You also have, well, I was just talking about it. What was it off the top of my head? You have Arcane. We have the Sonic movies, but that's not really what in Netflix's department. Cuphead came out really good. I was just talking about it. What was it? Arcane, Cuphead, and Edge Runners. That's right. They're doing amazing right now. Honestly, I have good feelings for this when it comes to Netflix. So, okay, let's talk about the animated series quick. Oh my god. Honestly, the animated series is the one I'm more excited for because they've already stated the series is going to kind of just follow a bunch of different stories. And I don't know how they're going to structure it. If they're going to make it an anthology series, if they're going to make each series is following a different story, that could work fine. If it's going to be a completely new story and the series will follow new characters, I think that would work out well. Honestly, like, that's the thing. Like, an animated Gears of War series, you literally have no limit to what you can do. There is so much material that can be adapted. There is characters that can be shown more of. You can create new characters and it's fine. That's the thing about Gears. Like, it's very hard to mess up the canon. As we discussed in the last video, it's hard to really just destroy it unless you purposely just go out to do whatever you want, like, in a negative way. So, do whatever you want, you're fine. Like, Harper, oh my goodness, you have so much you could do with Harper. Adapt his stuff, put him in there. Oh, Harper you could do 100,000 things for. I mean, just comics-wise, you literally have everything. You have, oh my goodness, could you think about, like, a story where, like, and this is just something I'm throwing together, like, Alex Brand and Barrick are teaming up and they're just, like, they're fighting off the locusts, but for some reason, like, it's a very dry situation where, like, the ammo's going out, like, dry ammo, so, like, they're running out. And, like, locusts and human, they're out. And for some reason, and you can make it work. It's an animated series. Go nuts with it. You got Barrick going. You got Alex Brand. Both of them just back-to-back, fists out, just decking their way through locusts. Because we already know the locust armor is thick as ever, so you're not getting through that. But, oh my goodness, Barrick has literally ripped them in half. He is strong enough where off of the the Rustlung, he could probably go toe-to-toe fisticuffs. Alex is just a badass. Let Alex, she can do whatever she wants. They're just both going at it. Alex is just laying kicks out. Barrick is just slanted suplexes. You can do that. Private Clay, when he first joined, you know, we have his skin, we see it, but imagine what he was like when he first joined. Maybe that's how he became such a badass, is he's just joining in the fight. You've got Barrick and Clay going in for like a 3D Dudley death bomb. Well, that's Matt Hardy, but you know what I mean. They just go in, one takes the legs, the other takes the head, right, I don't know, there's a table there, I don't know, you can do whatever you want. Oh my goodness. Adapt stuff from the book. Go to Vectis. You can talk about the Vectis situations and the huge fight with the Leviathans. Oh, you can go to the oil rig. Oh, there's a point in the book where they're at the oil rig and they're fighting off all of these Lambent coming up. Things are exploding. Things are on fire. Victor jumps down and he starts fighting. That would be great. Oh my goodness. I can't say the name correctly half the time, but the Pesang warriors, the kind that are like really covert ops and they're allied with the Cog but not a part of the Cog. Do a story about that. Do Hoffman's background, Anvil Gate. You can do Anvil Gate. You have all the literally it all writes itself. You can do whatever you literally want. And I don't know how it could destroy the canon unless you had it like, I don't know. They go down to the Hollow and the Hollow and they meet Mira and Mira's like, also, by the way, Marcus, I was actually your mother the whole time. Haha, your mother died for nothing. Well, she died, pretty much for nothing. She went down to explore. Ha, your mother was never yours. I was your mother. Adam knew me the whole time. And guess what? You're going to have a kid named JD, and Kate's actually his sister. If they wanted to destroy it like that. But as we talked about before, whatever's happening in the games is canon. We can put the series in the closet for that one. Also, you could do What If series. Marvel already did that. That would work perfectly fine. You could easily do that where it's like, what if Marcus was Mira's son and he was fighting for the Swarm? Like, there's a what if story for you right there. What if Maria never did die? What if Maria lived? What would Dom have been like in the third game? Boom! So many things right there. Literally, they just said, we can do whatever we want. And it's like, yes, by God, you can. You bet you can. I don't know, man. Like, that's the thing about the animated series. Anything you want to do, you can do it. It's animated, too, so you don't have to worry about, like, your actors doing things that they couldn't do. Or, like, trying to, like, use CGI for something. Because it's animated. You don't need to do that. Well, you can put CGI in animation, but with the direction it sounds like they're going, I don't think they're going to do it. Because it really does seems like we're just going to do this, and this, and that's how it's going to go. Like, maybe each story will have its own animation style. Think about that. You could have a really nice pencil-drawn story of, like, I don't know, like, a comic style of, like, Barrick and how he was, like, on his own for a while before Delta went and found him in the first volume books. You could have that. You could have Kim. You could have Kim's story written in like the what's the correct proper term for it? Like katakana style you have for like the language for Japan, but you also have like the ink brush style of just like drawing it. You could have it where it's just like a moving ink style like drawing for Kim's story because it could talk about his heritage and everything. We don't get a lot about his heritage. It is very, very well aware that Kim is of Asian descent. Maybe play into it where he's very honed in with his ancestors, but he doesn't show it on the outside because he holds it on the inside, and on the outside he's a by-the-book gear. Maybe have that. Kind of just like, this is what my ancestors and my people believed. But joining the Cog, I had to hold that back, or I had to relinquish it in order to bring true honor to my family. Something like that. You don't even have to be stereotypical like that. Make it where you do have it like that, or maybe have it different. Maybe have it like drawn like Vietnam War style you see with like the stop motion like drawings for Kim, and show like he went through a lot of shit to be how he is right now. That's why he's so by the book, because maybe he was like letting loose at one point, and that's like why he's so by the book now, because he learned from his mistakes. There's so much stuff you can do. I don't know, man. Like, that's just some ideas. And I wanted to like maybe do a discussion and be just like, oh, here's the article that talks about this, this, and this. I'm just excited to talk about it. I mean, you know, it's sat in for a week on me now. Like, it's been sitting, and I have digested it. And originally I had that mixed up, oh my god, a movie. Then I had the feeling of like, what if it sucks? And then it came out to that mesh of like, Netflix is kind of doing things pretty well nowadays. We've got some good trust in some hands of people who can do things. I could see this going well. I see the animated series being very well. I am putting more eggs in that basket than the movie, but I'm not saying that the movie's going to be bad. I'm just saying I think one's going to be better than the other, but that doesn't mean the other one's going to be bad. Like, worst case scenario, like let's say Rotten Tomatoes. I see it being like a 50. I don't see it being Doom the movie with Dwayne The Rock Johnson in his early acting years bad. I see this as being an okay movie at worst. I could see it being very good. Just throw Batista in there. He already knows what to do. Terry Crews is happy about what he's doing. He could get the right character. Then just cast everyone out well. I'm interested to see how they're going to make The Locust. I have a very strong feeling that'll have a lot of CG in it. I don't think they're going to go practical. If they went practical, oh my goodness. That is a lot of work, but if you pulled it off, I would say give the Makeup Award of the Year. That's what I would say. So, that's honestly going to end it. Like, I don't have much else to add. Like, everyone else has already covered the news about it. Just take this as, like, my reaction to it. My thoughts. Maybe I'll make, because I put a lot of, like, my thoughts on. Maybe I'll do one more of, like, my thoughts on the Gears of War movie and animated series. I don't know. I'll name it something and make it look nice. I have a theme for those. Maybe I'll just do that. So, that'll do it. Thank you guys for watching this randomness that I created. Thank you guys for making this possible. And thank the patrons for making this possible. We got one more. We got one more Gear Talk this year, and I have decided that video is going to be the introduction video for the next series that we're going to be starting at the beginning of 2023. So, I decided that the last one after 12 Days of Fantasy is going to be used for something I want to use it for. I'm just going to take a mulligan. Like, I have a whole list of them throughout the year. I want to take one for me. So, I've decided that one's mine. We're going to announce the new one next week. And yeah, what a way to end this year of Gear Talks for the normal stuff, right? I mean, we end it with the movie and the series that's coming out on Netflix whenever, some year. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one. Later.